All right, perfect. Top of the morning. Welcome everyone to our Breakfast Club call. It is Thursday, February the 9th, 2023. My name is Pamela Pacheco, and I have the absolute honor, pleasure, and privilege of being your host today. And if you are just joining us for the first time, welcome. If you are returning, welcome back. And one of the reasons we always start off these calls with just gratitude, because I remember when I first started getting on these calls, it was a little bit over 10 years ago when I first embarked upon the journey of entrepreneurship on a serious note. And I was looking forward to these morning mentorship calls. And I wasn't only looking forward to the morning mentorship calls because of the information I was going to receive, but I was also looking forward to it because of the inspiration that I was going to receive, because I definitely understand that how you start your day sets the tone for your day. And garbage in is garbage out. Greatness in is greatness out. So kudos to each and every single one of you for doing what needs to be done to start your day off with some greatness. Okay. So last week, we spoke about a success mindset, and different things that were necessary for that. And this week, I wanted to talk about expectations and 3 benefits of staying expectant. So if you're in a title, as we always say, note takers are history makers. Always take notes as if you were going to teach this yourself one day. But we're going to talk about expectations. And if you got on the call earlier, I let you guys know that I am in my beautiful island of the Dominican Republic. Right now, we are live from my grandmother's house. I'm sitting in the back porch. All of the animals behind me, from chickens and roosters and dogs and ducks and plantains being grown and guava and avocado and all of this greatness. This is my mom's home, where my mom was raised. This home has been here for over 50 plus years. So it's absolutely very emotional and just very amazing. And the reason why I'm actually even starting to tell you guys where it is that I'm at, because as we're talking about expectations, if you saw me go live yesterday, went live for like about 7-8 minutes, and I was talking about plans change, decisions don't. And it's such a great segue into our topic of, 3 benefits of staying expectant. And if we look up the dictionary definition of hopeful, right? It's feeling or inspiring optimism about a future event. And I was super hopeful because my sister was already here in the Dominican Republic, and it was my grandmother's 89th birthday yesterday. And I was like, man, I was super excited I had a few events in New York City this past weekend, absolutely bomb. Shout out to Lisa and Denise for killing it and rocking it out, and our secret social. But I was coming straight from the Dominican Republic. Straight from New York City to the Dominican Republic, or so I thought, because that's what I was hoping for, right? That was my level of expectation. And it's interesting because as I am getting ready to check in the night before my flight, I realized I only had my passport card. And of course, in true Pamela fashion, this was probably my most blondest moment I've ever had in 37 years of my life. Okay. So I had to change my flight from New York City to Tampa, which, if you know, that's already annoying. Yes. Can anybody relate? So I had to change that flight. And then from there, I had to go ahead and get to Tampa. Now I had to book an entirely different new flight that was leaving from Florida to Dominican Republic. And we looked up all the airports because my dad lives near Punta Cana Airport, where my sister flew in. But my grandmother is in the capital. All of my family is in the capital, which is Santo Domingo. Well, there were no more flights leaving out of Tampa for the entire day that I was going to get there. But again, plans change, decisions don't. I was like, you know what? There has to be a way. I'm hopeful. I'm expectant. There has to be a way. I'm going to make it. And we drove 2 hours. Shout out to my brother Felix. Drove me 2 hours to the Orlando airport so that I can get on the last flight out of the States to the Dominican Republic. I got in here about 2 a.m. And by the time I went to sleep that morning, it was like probably 4 a.m. We were decorating my grandmother's house. So when she woke up, she had all tons of decorations and just warm birthday wishes. So my point of that is plans change, decisions don't. Where there's a will, there is a way. And it's something to ask yourself is, how do you foresee the future? Do you foresee the future with hope or hopelessness? And the future could be today. The future could be tomorrow. The future could be a year from now. The future could be 5 years from now. Because the reality is, if we do not believe there are good things in store for our future, we will never work hard in our present. And that's just a fact. And when we talk about, great leaders, and we talk about great business people, we talk about leaders are people that are able to bring certainty to an environment where there isn't any. But guess what? Great leaders and great business people and successful people, they have an eager expectation that there's more. They have an eager expectation that there's more team, that there's more time, that there's more meaning, that there's more opportunities, that there's more resources. And it's not only for our own success, it's not only for your own success, right? But for the success of those you are trying to reach, because a hope-filled leader is one that lasts. And when we're talking about this business, or we're talking about anything in life, 3 benefits of staying expectant. See, if I wasn't, number one is expectation leads to preparation. Prepare like you already have what you're hoping for. So when I say preparation, see, I was preparing to come to the Dominican Republic. Like, my bags were already packed. I packed for New York, so I had to pack winter clothes, and then I also packed warm clothes. And I was like, okay, I was ready. I was prepared, right? Well, the same thing happens. The same thing happens and applies when we're talking about this business, when we're talking about anything to deal with life. Because if you're not preparing, my sergeant used to always say is like, fail to plan, plan to fail. So if you're preparing like you already have what you're hoping for, don't you think that you're more inclined to get that you're like, the chances are you're going to be getting that more? Absolutely, absolutely. So if you're saying, expectation leads to preparation, and I have to prepare like I've already have what it is that I'm hoping for, there was nothing in me that was going to stop me from coming here. Like, there was nothing I was not going to let my mind trip me up. I was not going to let my emotions get the best of me. I was not going to let the circumstances, because I said, you know what, no matter what, there's a will, there's a way. See, my brother said, hey, I'm gonna take you, don't worry. But I already had other options lined up to be able to drive me or take a transportation of some sort to Orlando Airport. So I said, worst case scenario, if he can't do it, I can get this person to do it. If that person can do it, I can just Uber over there. Right. But we have to know that it's one of those things. It's making sure that we are preparing for what's to come. Are you preparing for the day ahead? Because when you can prepare and you can plan for what's to coming, and if you're saying, hey, you know what, I want to win the year, right? We want to win the year. So if you want to win the year, focus on winning the day. Because when you can win the day, you can win the week, you can win the month, and then you can win the year. Does that make sense? And if you're like, well, Pam, I can't even focus on winning the day, focus on winning the hour. What are 2 tasks that you want to get done in this hour? What is something that you need to focus on? What is something that is going to allow your faith to expand, your family to grow, your fitness to thrive, your fortune to grow, your fun to thrive? Like, what are you expecting? What is something that you are expecting to happen? Because again, expectation leads to preparation. Expectation, number 2, if you're writing this down, expectation eliminates distraction. And why do I say that? See, when you have an expectancy level of something, and I shared this story with you guys at the beginning of the call to let you guys know, it's like, I was expecting to come here. So there was no way that I was going to let even myself distract me, because I'm not going to lie to you guys, for a minute, right? For a minute, I'm like, man, do I need to do all of this? I'm gonna have to book an entirely different flight. I'm gonna have to book I'm like, it's so much money. Then I have to drive. And I was just like, we're not gonna we're not gonna do that. That's not what we're subscribing to, because that's not your level of expectancy. So we're going to eliminate that distraction. We're gonna kill the enemy. We're gonna kill that seed of doubt. We're gonna kill that fear. We're gonna kill that uncertainty. We're gonna kill the things that are not serving you. Because if you are not killing the things that are not serving you, they're going to consume you. And it's like, what you do not confront, you're going to be consumed by. And this is something that I don't only apply this in business, I apply this on my life in every single aspect. But why does, when expectation eliminates distraction, and it goes a lot to our business, because when you know your yes, your no is easy. It doesn't really matter. And it's more so is like, okay, now you're creating some type of accountability for yourself, because you're like, you know what, I'm going to check my gauges daily. I'm going to check how many calls I made. I'm going to check how many appointments I made. I'm going to check how many expos I have. I'm going to check how many new teammates. I'm going to check how many existing teammates and prospects I have at training event, because you're going to be proactive with the surroundings that hold you accountable. Understand? So what are those surroundings that hold you accountable, that help you eliminate the distractions? They can be affirmations. They can be declarations. They can be, we talk about this all the time. It's like mastering the mundane. There's magic in mastering the mundane. There's success and magic found in your daily routine. So what it is that you're focusing on is definitely going to be the strongest, and what you focus on the longest will always be the strongest. So if you're saying, okay, well, how can I eliminate the distractions that I know? Well, do things that hold you accountable. So whiteboards, for example, absolutely amazing. You can have a whiteboard and just put little tasks that you want to get accomplished in your faith, little tasks that you want to get accomplished in your family, little tasks that you want to get accomplished in your fortune, little tasks that you want to get accomplished in your fitness, in your fun, in every aspect. But being accountable, have a vision board. These are things that, again, being proactive with the surroundings that hold you accountable is absolutely important. So vision boards, affirmations, declarations, whiteboards, people, accountability calls, accountability partners, different things, because you're like, okay, expectation by definition is the breeding ground for miracles, but the hopelessness, right? Because we said hopelessness, hopefulness is the feeling or inspiring optimism about a future event. So if you're like, okay, well, I'm inspired, I have inspired optimism. Optimism is success. Optimism is that you're going to thrive. Optimism is the best outcome is yet to come. So if you're like, okay, well, what else can I do to make sure that I am eliminating the distraction? It's like, write things that are going to allow you to hold yourself accountable, because being proactive means that, okay, being proactive with the surroundings. So immediately I have, go-to that I go to in my notes saved whenever it is that I am tripping up on myself. And it's just like, okay, I go and I'll look at who I am. How do I want to feel? What intentions is it that I'm setting for this? What is it that I necessarily want? And yes, Lana said, she said, absolutely. I love the on my fridge, the fridge every day, windows, fridge, reminders on the doors and mirrors. I absolutely love that. And that is absolutely true, because again, what we can engineer our environment for success, just like we can engineer the things that best serve us. Makes sense? That we can engineer anywhere we're at, but eliminating the distractions is key. For expectations. But remember that you having that sense of expectation is going to eliminate the distraction. And kind of how like we were talking about in the beginning, see, I knew there was like, I'm like, listen, I'm gonna tell you right now, the only thing that's gonna stop me is me. The only thing that's gonna stop me, that's gonna distract me from getting on this flight today and actually going through this day is me. So what do I have to do to make sure that I'm making good decisions? I knew that I needed sleep. It was funny because I was staying by one of my great friends' house, and he's like, you never sleep. And I was like, listen, I've been up since 6 a.m. I woke up, I meditated, I prayed, I did my affirmations, and I went right back to sleep. After I already knew that, there was no way that I was going to make it out, and I had to rebook flights, and I did all of that. And after I, exhausted my mental capacity, can anybody relate that sometimes you do things And yes, because you're following through on your commitment. Yes, because you're following through on what you said you were going to do. It's draining. It can drain you sometimes, right? But it's reminding yourself of why you're doing this, reminding yourself of what it is that you are hopeful for. And again, sorry guys for if it's noisy in the background. I am sitting in the backyard at my grandmother's house. If you're just joining us, welcome. But yes, disclosure. But anyhow, that's what I was saying. I knew that the only one that was going to distract me, the only one that was going to stop me was going to be myself. So I said, you know what? I know that's something that I have been super proactive with since the beginning of the year. I know somebody's looking at it as like, girl, it's only February 9th. Listen, that's a lot for me because I'm not intentional of getting at least 7 hours of sleep. And I have been for over 45 days straight, over 40 days straight. So for me, that is a lot. So whenever you see, I know that I'm irritable, or I know that I have a big task or big projects or big things ahead that are going to require all of me, I have to fill my cup. I'm going to eliminate the distraction of restlessness. I'm going to eliminate the distraction of my emotions. I'm going to eliminate the distraction of myself because I understand that there's no enemy on the outside that can win if you can beat the enemy within, right? And I know I didn't say that quote exactly how you heard it before, but you know exactly what it is that I mean. And I knew that it was like, okay, I need to prepare myself. I need to fill my cup because I was going to have a day. Does that make sense? So making sure that you are being proactive with the surroundings that hold you accountable is key. When you're saying expectation, eliminates the distraction. Expectation also determines your direction. So if you are someone and you're like, well, what do you mean expectation determines the direction? Well, the success of your present is dictated by the hope of your future. So if you're someone that's saying, okay, well, what is it? What does that exactly mean if the success of my present is dictated by the hope of my future? So what it is that you're doing every single day, the level of proactiveness when you're getting somebody started, do you know what that looks like? There should be top 5 things that I say all the time that is like when you're getting somebody started. Number 1 is your list. Write down everyone you know. Right? Start with your top 20 flat tire list. And if you don't know what the top 20 flat tire list, it's saying, hey, if you have a flat tire and you have to go ahead and call and it's 2:00 in the morning and all tires are flat, you have no AAA, who are you going to call? Like, who's that person? Who will call you? Write them down. Who else? Who else? Who else? Right? And you're writing down that list because again, you have a direction of where it is that you want to go. Fast is fun and slow sucks. So when you're getting somebody started, do you know what that looks like? Number 2, the invite. You're going to tell them really quick, listen, these are some things to say: concept, idea, project, feedback, vision for my future. I have great news I'm sharing with you. Here are things not to say: money, business, skincare company, nutrition company, travel company, healthcare company, opportunity, presentation, meeting. People don't like going to meetings, but they like meeting people. Right? People don't necessarily want to go hear an opportunity because they think they've heard everything over the sun. But if you're inviting and saying, hey, listen, I have a great concept I want to run by you. I have a great idea that I'm working on. I have a great project that it is that I want to talk to you about. I have a huge announcement. I have a big vision for my future that I want to share with you. I have some great news. So again, it's your level of enthusiasm going into it. It's your level of expectancy. 3, you tell them what the law is. The more you show, the more you grow. That is just fundamental law when you're getting anybody started. 4, 3-way and edification. Get them in front of an expert, grow with an expert. See, there is nothing more powerful than a 3-way call. And a lot of times you may think, like I used to, that it's like, man, I got this. I don't need anybody else. I don't want to bother. Because anybody ever feel like that? You're like, I don't want to bother my mentor. Like, I know one of my mentors, I cannot get him on the phone if I don't have an appointment. So sometimes to even hit him up for a 3-way is just like, it's cringing because you're like, you don't want to be told no. And that's just human nature. You just don't want to be told no. But I said, I understand that there's power in team. There's no I in team, but there's me, but together everyone achieves more. That is what team means. So knowing, okay, three-way identification, get them in front of an expert, because it's not about you, it's about that person. So if your level of expectancy is, I want this person to know that they can do this business, I want this person to know that they're going to have help, I want this person to know that we're going to be in this for the long run, introduce them to somebody, have that have that three-way edification going on, because whether you're adding value and building up the person that you're introducing to, see, the person you just got started or that got started on your team, they may not relate to you, but they may relate to someone else, right? So three-way and edification, get them in front of an expert and grow with an expert. Number 5, collective decision. Tell me yes, tell me no, tell me quick, I gotta go. We are professional decision collectors. So when we have this, level of expectancy, and we're like, I know that expectation is going to determine my direction, and I know exactly, we have so much opportunity here for upward mobility. It's insane. We have so much opportunity for growth. It's amazing. But we have so many systems that in place that are here to promote the sustainability that we all need to build businesses that have longevity. So every day, when we're talking about, expectations, and whether we are saying, hey, yes, expectations is leading to preparation, expectation eliminates distraction, and expectation determines direction. Every day when you get up, you have 2 choices. We can chase our dreams, or we can say, hey, you know what? We can get up and chase our dreams, or we can deal with the fact that we just didn't do anything. And if people are going to follow you, they're most likely going to follow you because of strength. People don't follow people because of their weakness. So whatever it is that you're strong in, whatever it is that you feel strong about, I suggest that you start speaking about it. I suggest that you start casting vision, that you let people know what it is that you're doing, where it is that you're going. Because if that's not it, like people, if you ever notice, like, have you seen successful people follow unsuccessful people? Have you seen successful people follow weak people? No, I know for a fact you've seen someone and you're like, man, how that person's a shark, and how they end up on that person's team. But it's back to what we spoke about. It's that level of expectancy, but it's also plugging them into the system. It's also the three-way and edification, but it's also because people follow strength. And it's knowing if you're somebody that is timid, or if you're somebody that your personality is yellow, and if you don't know what our colors mean, red is driven, somebody that's competitive, somebody that is loves to win, super just, high energy. Blue is somebody that loves to have fun, that's spontaneous. Yellow is somebody that's caring, that just, they're more, timid, more soft-spoken, people that just want to give back, people that just love people, people that just make you feel good, people that just make you feel that they're trustworthy, right? The greens are my analyticals, people that are typically skeptical, but when they get their facts, they make decisions. But no matter who it is that you're talking to, the reality is that half-ass effort won't get you anything. So regardless, if you're meeting somebody and okay, this person, I'm timid, I have a yellow personality, and this person is a shark, you better make a three-way and edification call to a shark to get that person locked in and loaded. Because again, if you're expecting to win, you're going to play your position, and you're going to play all of the cards dealt for you. And when I talk about this, there's systems in place that promote the sustainability. Yes, making a list, inviting, the more you show, the more you grow, is law, three-way notification, collecting a decision, our training system, our apps, our resources. I mean, I'm in Dominican Republic, and at 6 a.m., it's 9:26, we're an hour ahead, but at 6 a.m. here, I was able to go get a workout on top of my grandmother's roof. Why? Because of our Club Fit app. Like, I have a personal trainer, yes, but guess what? I am on this app because I understand that there's so many systems that are in place for sustainability, but also for upward mobility, for us to continue to grow. And the reality is, we all have challenges. We're going to make the choice if we're going to be the strength that others can plug into and follow, or are we going to be the weak and make excuses for the lack of results, for the lack of consistency, for the things that happen that you don't even foresee, because sometimes it's you. Like I shared with you guys in the beginning, I'm like, how did you just pull the most blondest moment in your 37 years of life? Like, girl, But again, I was like, you know what? I'm not gonna let that trip me up, because I already knew what my level of expectancy was. I already knew what it was that I wanted to do. And if we think about it, is we have to be strong in our resolution that life is going to take you off course, but it's how you're going to respond. It's what are you going to do to get you back on track? What are you going to make you do so that you're frontline every single time? Preparation is the result of expectation. So one of the things that I'll tell you, I just had to do this the other day, and it fired me up right before my presentation. And it's funny because one of our teammates that was there visiting, he was like, I just saw you do one, and you just did another one, like right back to back. And I was just like, because whatever needs to get done needs to get done. And right before that, it's cold, and I had a flight in the morning. It was crazy. And I was just like, what it is me, I'm setting my intentions. How do I want to feel? Who do I want to be? What do I want out of this? What it is that I'm going to. And I read my speech. Like, I wrote down just a quick short speech of what it is, of how I'm going to feel to get recognized in front of over 20,000 people for our recent accomplishment of clearing over 6 figures part-time in a 6-month period. That saying that I'm no stranger to hard work. I'm no stranger to a high level of education. I'm dedicated and committed to work ethic. Yes, I went from working 60 plus 70 hours a week, but freedom is my God-given right. Freedom is something that not only I've been able to live, but I'm able to inspire others. I'm beyond humbled and thankful that this vehicle, A Secret, has allowed me to live a life on purpose, becoming a servant leader with a calling over my life that has turned into my nature, my oxygen, a non-negotiable to pay it forward. So in the words of one of my best leaders and mentors, Mr. Ed Blunt, it's like, you stay humble, you stay hungry, no ego, no excuses. But this is the warm up, and we got work to do. And if you're seeing anything and you're like, man, I want this year to be like this, what's your level of expectancy? What's your level of expectancy? It's like, I know for a fact that the only way is up. I know that the only way is through, but I also have a level of expectancy to win. I have a level of expectancy to be a love and a light in any room I enter, that I am a magnet to successful people, that I am a magnet to just great people. I can't even explain to you how God has just put so many great people in my life, but it's also because of my level of expectancy. And remember, it's not on you, it's in you. And what's in you, they can't take away from you. No matter what it is that you've gone through, no matter where it is that you're at, no matter how you feel, no matter who said what, it's in you. It's not on you. And what's in you, they can't take away from you. I'm going to tell you, I wanted to start off the call with this, but I needed to just get fired up. And as I was thinking and I was preparing for this call, and we lost a legend. Travis Just, our condolences to Brittany Just and the Just family. We lost truly a legend. The impact, I remember the first time I ever heard Travis Just speak, and the impact that I felt, and the energy that was not only going through my body, that was going through each and every single person. And he just had such a way of infusing you with his energy, with his level of belief, with his level of inspiration. And if you are, I am going to actually send this. I am going to, Suheni, I see that you're on. I'm going to send you this link if you could please post it. But it's one of Travis's last videos. And he was talking about, how he got back in the gym, and like he forgot the pain of what it was. And he was dealing with tendonitis last year at the end of the year. And he was just like, I forgot of the pain. I forgot of what the pain felt like. He said, but you know what? After you go through it, after you're doing it 3 days, after you're doing it 5 days, you forget about what the pain feels like. And that's like anything else in life. After you're continuously just chopping away, you forget about the pain of the nose. You forget about the pain of the inadequacies. You forget about the pain of the failures. You forget about the pains of the people that let you down. You forget about the pain. You forget about the things that do not serve you. You forget about the pain when you're just going through it, and you understand, and you have a level of expectancy, and you keep going and keep going and keep going, because you understand that the only way through is through. But you forget about the pain when you're working hard on it. And it's interesting because he said, you got to keep going, because the shiny spot is coming. That shiny spot is going. And if you don't go through that pain, you're never going to feel what it feels like on that other side. So yes, have your expectations and make sure that have your expectations and know that there's benefits of you staying expecting, and know that yes, expectation is going to eliminate distraction, and expectation determines direction, and expectation is going to make sure that not only it determines the direction and eliminates the distraction, and it's going to lead to the preparation that you need. But it's really just comes down to, are you willing to do what you don't feel like doing? Are you willing to do what others won't, so you can have the life that others don't? And Travis used to always say this, it's like 1 year from now, you're going to wish that you started today. So on that note, that is our Breakfast Club call. Breakfast has been served from Mi Bella Isla, de Quisqueya La Bella, from the beautiful island of the Dominican Republic. I thank you guys for your patience this morning. And yeah, thank you guys for everything as usual. Always here to add value. Hope that this was valuable for you guys, but stay expectant. The best is yet to come. That shiny spot is coming. Love you guys. Great day and God bless. You're welcome. Thank you, thank you, thank you.